It's Thursday morning and I'm standing by the side of the A38 right on the Devon and Somerset border, and I bumped into a man wearing a bright fluorescent yellow shirt. His name is Sylvester, and he is walking from Land's End to John O'Groats. Now, lots of people do this, but people do it for a reason. So, Al, why are you walking?
I'm walking for the Prospect Hospice, which is a hospice just outside Swindon, who looked after my friend who died 3 years ago at the age of 43 of cancer. We both served in the RAF together in the Mountain Rescue Service, and after he left the RAF, he joined Wiltshire Constabulary as a policeman, and unfortunately only lasted 5 years as a police officer. As I say, passed away 3 years ago.
So do I gather from that you're in the RAF as well?
Well, spookily enough, I retired a week last Monday. I'm still on the payroll until October. I think they call this terminal gardening leave or something. But it's the leave you get to sort your life out and make sure you have a house and your family's okay. Well, I live in Farringdon, not far from Swindon. So I thought, what else could I do with this 5 or 6 week time off? So I've decided to walk from Land's End to John O'Groats for the hospice. Right,
now this is not the first walk you've done, is it?
No, I spent 21 years within the RAF Mountain Rescue out my 31-year career in the RAF. I've been to Everest Base Camp twice. I've summited Aconcagua, the highest mountain outside the Himalayas. But in 2006, I led the first unsupported attempt to the geographic South Pole, which was just a 600-mile exploration in an average temperature of minus 35, which was just fantastic. You're laughing now.
Well, it occurs to me that if you've been to Aconcagua and the South Pole and Mount Everest Base Camp, you would think that a walk from Land's End to John O'Groats was a bit of a doddle after that, but it's not so, is it?
Oh, Philip, this is day 6 for me, so I'm still early doors. I'm still breaking the shoulders in and my feet in. But that pull from Land's End all the way up to Launceston on the A30 was phenomenal. I had literally an hour walk uphill, 15 minutes on the flat, a 45-minute uphill walk. And now I've reached Launceston and I've made my way over towards Tiverton yesterday. It does appear to have just flattened out a little bit, but I know the roads are undulating all the time. But for those first 3 or 4 days, or first 3 days to Launceston was quite a shock, I've got to admit it.
I think it's interesting. If you actually add up the ups and downs on the route, particularly the ups, it's amazing how far you've climbed in 150 miles.
You're not kidding. I mean, I will, when I finish this, I will look at the technical details. I've been organising it for about 7 months, but with leaving the RAF, with finalising things at home, sorting out my leaving parties from the RAF, and trying to do my full-time job, and then organising this walk, it's been full on. So getting the route's been essential. And likes of coming through here, through Wellington and then through to Taunton today, it's quite a well-known route that both cyclists and walkers take. But I'm very lucky to have the opportunity to walk this route. Anybody is brilliant. My only fear is being knocked down by a car or a lorry, I must admit.
Well, as you can hear, where we are now, we're just off the side of the road and it's pretty busy out there and things are zipping past at 60 and 70 miles an hour. One of the things that comes to my mind is, yes, you've planned this, it's taken 7 months in the planning, but the reality of walking it, compared with the plan and the distances you were hoping to do, how does that sort of come out?
I originally was looking at an average of 30 miles a day, and that is what I've been able to walk in the mountains, and I've been sort of quite content with that. What's come quite clear in these first 5 days is the weight of my rucksack, especially with the heavy downpours of rain I've been sustaining. And then it's been really hot in 22 degrees, then another heavy downpour rain. It's soaking my bag, although everything inside is dry, but it's so demoralising. And although in the mountains, I know at the end of the day, I've finished that day. My problem is the next day I'm getting up and doing another 30 miles. So I've done it around about 150, as you say, Philip, so far in 5 days, which is, I'm quite pleased with it, I've got to say. But I've taken a lot of advice, and I have to swallow my pride and start to admit that more like doing 20 to 25 miles a day is going to be more realistic, because my body already starting to break down. My shoulders are pretty badly bruised. I'll show you here, Philip, so you can see on the for the listeners. And it's bruised the bone as well, which is quite concerning. But I've improvised and put some sponges on my straps this morning, and that's absolutely fantastic.
So it's all part of a learning curve. So by the time you've done 500 miles, you'll probably be treating things in a slightly different way than you're doing them now.
Once it gets to Scotland, it'll be easy, because I'll be living on haggis as well, and, and I won't be drinking any whiskey. But no, it's a learning curve every day.
It isn't just for the hospice in Swindon that you're walking. It's to raise awareness for the hospice movement in general and the work that they do.
Absolutely. I came past the Devon hospice yesterday, and it's halfway up a hill. And unfortunately, I really wish I'd known that was the location of it, because I could have popped in. But the idea is, the more interviews I can do, the more statements I can do in papers, just to make people aware that the hospices throughout the whole of the United Kingdom do an amazing job. I mean, God forbid you have to go in there yourself, but the care, the attention, just the love that these people give. And it's a voluntary thing, it's a charity thing. Every hospice is a charity. If you are thinking of doing a run, or you're doing a parachute jump, or you're doing something completely barking mad, then if you think you can raise a few pounds, then do it for your local hospice. Because, as I say, it's a charity, and the care and the attention they give to those people in their last few weeks of life, or it's a respite during a real terminal illness, please consider giving it to a hospice, because they do an incredible job. So maybe, in a way, I'm actually investing in my own future. It's a bit of a cynical way of looking at it, but I don't know. I live in Oxfordshire, and the hospice in Swindon's in Wiltshire, so maybe I might even go to that one. But it's any hospice, that's what counts.
And it's amazing how many people's lives have been touched by a hospice. You stop almost every person in the street, and there's either somebody in the family who's been in one, or somebody they know, or a friend, or a relative. It's a very, very common thing.
It is. I mean, a statistic that I've done a lot of work with Cancer Research UK, and it's 1 out of 3 people will be affected by cancer, and that's a massive statistic. And a lot of people think that hospice is for people who are dying from cancer. Not at all. It's of any illness, and also the respite care they can give the families that support people who are so poorly. Just to allow them that little break into the hospice for a week or just a few days is priceless. And I say again, these people do this voluntarily, and it's all on charities. So you're right, Philip, there's not many people out there who have not actually benefited from the care that a hospice provides.
Well, I've got no doubt you're going to raise a considerable amount of awareness. Are people keeping a track of you from other radio stations and newspapers?
Yes, they are. I was with Pirate FM. They were talking the other day. I'm constantly in talk with BBC Radio Wiltshire. I sent out, like I originally touched base with you a few weeks ago, I sent out an article to everybody, and the hospice in Swindon keeps on updating me, saying, oh, you've been in this paper, you've been in that paper. So it's spreading the word that the hospices out in the UK are the way forward. They're fantastic people.
Well, I hope that we can keep in touch with you as well and mark
Brilliant.
Your progress on the airwaves. That would be absolutely great. And we can arrange how we're going to do that a little bit later on, but I'm hoping that will be possible.
Oh, I'd love to. Honestly, Philip, I would love to. I've had a few issues with comms. I've not had the best signals as I've expected down in Cornwall, which is fairs really. But communication seems to be getting a little bit better now. I'm on Twitter, on Al Sylvester 2. I'm on Facebook on Al Sylvester. I've also got this hashtag Walk to Freedom. Whatever these mean, this is what the communications team have done for me, and it's brilliant. And it means that everyone's keeping in touch. And my only problem is receiving all the messages. So Lindsay is as mission control, as she's calling herself now. She collates all the messages, and I get 2 or 3 messages a day instead of the. And I'm so pleased that I must be having 40, 50 messages a day of good wishes, which is keeping me going. And I can't thank the people enough.
Now, if people want to say hello and spot you en route, you describe to me what you look like. You've mentioned a T-shirt. This is radio, not television. So I'm going to leave it to you to describe your appearance.
Okay. day, you'll see an old, haggard-looking man. No, sorry. You'll see a very highly. It's a Dayglow yellowy green t-shirt or a Dayglow green jacket with Dayglow green gloves. My poles have got Dayglow strips down the sides, and so you can see them as well. I've got this huge 42-pound rucksack on my back, which again has got Dayglow marks all over me. If you see me, would you mind just tooting your horn or something? Because it means that you're acknowledging that I'm doing something for the good. I've been so lucky so far. I've only had 2 close shaves with one big lorry and one very, very big bus that came so close it popped my earpieces out my ears, which was a bit concerning. But yeah, toot your horn, and then I know you're on side. It'd be brilliant to hear from them.
And if anybody does see you, I am sure they will toot their horn. I mean, you're unmissable, basically, aren't you?
I hope so. Literally.
Well, good luck with the walk. It's a long way to go, but it's a great thing to walk for. The hospice movement is so important. Apple FM wishes you Godspeed, and may you reach the end of your journey safely, and I hope you're going to write a book about it.
I certainly am.
For the caring community of Taunton.